Hello everyone, Miguel here from Unique Web Designer, and in this video we are going to discuss heading tags, header tags, and H1 tags as it pertains to local SEO. And we're going to figure out the importance of what H tags are and how to use them on your web pages. And I prepared a document, so let me just shrink this to discuss pretty much all of that. And right away, let's get started with defining what are header tags, heading tags. And header tags, also known as heading tags, are used to separate headings and subheadings on a web page. So a lot of times you'll be reading like an article and you see that there's a break where there's like bold letters, and that literally just breaks one section from the other, and that's literally what the H tags are on that page. Now they rank in order of importance from H1 to H6. So H1 is basically what that page is about, and then everything below that is just a subheading that's supposed to be used to support the H1. So your H2s, H3, H4 are supposed to be supporting your H1 and anything above. And why are header tags important? So why should you care? So header tags improve readability and SEO on a web page. So just like header tags are breaking down long blocks of text, so that is more easily readable for people, it's also telling Google, hey, this is what is the most important thing on this page. This is what's the second most important thing on this page, and so on. So keep that in mind. Your H1 is the most important thing, your H2 is second, H3 is third, and so on. And then text is just regular text. And now I'm going to show you on my website what my H1 tag is, so that you can better comprehend what an H tag is. So on this page, Unique Web Designer, the keyword phrase that we're going after is Fort Lauderdale Web Designer. Fort Lauderdale Web Design, Web Design Fort Lauderdale, so any combination of that. And what you'll see is this is our H1, and I'll show you how to figure that out on any website. Fort Lauderdale Web Design Agency. In other words, I'm telling Google this is the most important thing on this page. So what are we ranking for? If you do a search right now for Fort Lauderdale Web Design Company, Web Design Agency, or anything related to that specific term, that key phrase, you're going to see Unique Web Designer ranking anywhere from number 1 to number 5, depending on where you're doing the search for, your personalized results, and so on. But we're gonna be showing from number 1 to number 5 regardless of where you do the search. The closer you are to downtown Fort Lauderdale, the higher up we're gonna be. So we're probably going to be like number 1, number 2 if you're close to Fort Lauderdale. If you're further away, we may be, number 3, number 4, number 5, but we're pretty much number 1 to number 5. Why? Because we've already told Google, hey, this is the most important thing on our website, and everything below this is just supporting this title right here. And obviously there's a lot more when it comes to H1 tags, but this or when it comes to local rankings, but this is basically so that you have a good foundation. You're already telling Google, hey, this is what this page is about. So let me show you how you can quickly figure out what H tags your competitors are using, so that you can come up with your own H tags to compete with them. And in the document right here, so you're just gonna do a search for SEO meta one click, and so let's do a search for this. And if you're using Chrome, you'll be able to see this. I already have it, so on mine it says remove from Chrome, but on yours, if you do a search for SEO meta one click, it's going to say add it. So once you add it, then let's just do a search, just some random search. Let's say Miami lawyer, and then I'm just gonna go to the organic search. Whoever's showing up number 1, number 2, number 3, Google is already telling me that they like the H tags that these companies are using. So now, and don't choose like a list, like if you see Yelp or something like that, don't choose that. Just choose an actual business. So like right here we have Jutsia lawyer directory. So we don't want a directory. We don't want a directory. So right here, the very first one that we have is Goldberg and Rosen. So let's go here. And then we have, so these are all lists, and this is a very competitive industry. So a lot of times the websites that are actually ranking in Google for, you know, lawyer related terms are directories and basically companies that gather information, not necessarily lawyers. So let's just go down to see if we can find some more. And Miami lawyer and TM's live law. Okay, so right here, this is the actual application right here, SEO Meta in one click. And so if we click here, their H1, as you can see, Goldberg and Rosen, top Miami attorneys. We search for Miami lawyers. Now attorney obviously goes hand in hand with lawyer, so they're ranking number 1. Now let's see the second business, that what their H1 is. So their H1 is qualified advocates to fight for you when your freedom is at stake. This is horrible, which is probably why they're ranked way down. And then let's see this one. Their header is immigration lawyer Miami. So we have 2 out of 3 that are in the mentioning the keyword that we searched, but let's try to find a less competitive service, a less competitive niche, just to see if I can actually show you what I'm trying to get at. So let's say pool cleaning Miami. So for this one we have Aquality Pools as the number 1 search result. Then we have Miami Pool Tech. Then we have Yelp, which is obviously a listing. Expertise is just a bunch of lists. Home Advisor, a bunch of lists. Angie's List, Host, and Flow Pool. So the top 2 search results are actual businesses. Then you have like 6 that are not businesses, and then you have a business. So let's see what the H1 tags of these companies are. And remember, we look for pool cleaning in Miami. So let's go to the first one, and you'll see looking for a reliable quality pool service in Miami. So pool Miami. Let's see the number 2, Miami Pool Tech. So pool Miami. We look for pool cleaning Miami. And let's see this one. This one was farther down, but let's see what they have anyways. And the leading pool service company in Miami. So all 3 have pool in Miami. And even the lawyers, you saw that they had lawyer or attorney Miami. There was one that didn't have anything to do with anything, but they were like number 20. So you can see whatever key term you're going after on a specific page, you can do a search to figure out what the top results, what the top businesses are doing. In other words, what is Google telling you that they like? Now, as you can see, they don't, all 3 of them say something different. So you don't have to copy anyone. But let's say if I was to do local SEO for a pool company, and these are the results that I see. So an H1 tag that I could come up with is best pool service in Miami, or award-winning pool service in Miami, local pool service in Miami. So any correlation that has pool in Miami, because we've already figured out if we're going for pool cleaning in Miami, what does Google like? For you to have pool in Miami in your in your H tag. And then and then one thing that you'll see, like H2s, H3s, H4s, and so on, they're going to be different depending on what page you're in. Like you see this one, they have 1 H1, they have 8 H2s, then they have 18 H3s, and then if you go to this one, it'll probably be completely different. So here they have 1 H1, 19 H2s, and everything else is one of each. And then this one, they have 1 H1, 9 H2s, 9 H3s, 11 H4s, and no H5s and no H6. So for you, the main thing that you need to be concerned with is having 1 H1, and then see what the average of the H2s and H3s are, and try to be close to that. You don't need to have more, you don't need to have less, just try to be close to it. You don't have to focus on, if the top result has 10, oh, you don't need to have 20 just to outdo them. Google isn't telling you that 20 is good, they're telling you 10 is good. So if you see the average is 9 and the top one has 10, well, go for 10 instead of 7. So just keep that in mind. Your H1s, it's only one per page. Whatever key term or phrase you want to rank for, that's your H1. Anything below that is an H2. And there's no other way. Like, a lot of SEO companies will try to sell you on this and that. Hey, you need to make sure your H1 is this or your H1 is that. I mean, sure, that's great, but when it comes to figuring out what your H1 should be, this is the best way to figure it out. Ask Google. Google is already ranking other companies. And no, just because you get your H1s and H2s correct, Google isn't going to automatically say, oh, hey, you new kid on the block, I'm going to rank you over some of these companies that have been around for 10 years and they've had websites for 8. I mean, it's not going to be like that. But when you start doing local SEO, if you have your own page, the foundation correct, then you can move on to doing a lot of the off-page stuff. But if your own page isn't on point, then you're just going to waste a lot of time, because most likely you're never going to outrank the people at the top. And the best way to outrank them is to see what they're doing and to create a plan that doesn't copy but mimics what they're doing. In other words, if their H1 tag is this, then what can I say that's similar to that if I'm going for that same key phrase that they are? And like I said in the sample, if they're saying pool company in Miami, you could say award-winning pool company in Miami, or award-winning pool service in Miami. You have pool and you have Miami involved. So that's pretty much it when it comes to H1s. H1s, just the main thing to remember is that the H1 is the most important thing. If you don't have an SEO company working for you that's doing this research, this is the best way to research. Just do a search for the key term that you want to rank for, and remember, only use one H1 tag on each page. So if you have a page that's specifically for, let's say in my company, for a lot of the web design and all of the related key terms, then have that one. So have just an H1 that is for a lot of the web design. Then if I'm trying to rank for Miami web development in another page, then I'm going to have one H1 for Miami web development on the other page. You don't want to have an H1 for Miami web design and then an H1 for Fort Lauderdale web design on the same page. Why? Because you're confusing Google. You're telling Google, okay, this is important, but this is very important as well. So Google is like, I'm not going to go crazy over your website when other people are telling me they're focusing on only one thing on each page. So keep that in mind, and hopefully this video was useful to you. And if it was, make sure you share it with people that you think could find usefulness out of it. And if you have any questions related to local SEO or web design, make sure to comment down below and I'll try to answer them on future videos. And subscribe to the channel so you can find out when I put out new videos, and I'm gonna be putting out more videos as it pertains to local SEO and on-page SEO as well as off-page SEO. So just stay tuned, and until next time, Unique is out.